This is the history of the AMC Javelin. AMC was the last major independent American car company to survive past the 1960s. While it would ultimately see itself absorbed by Renault, then by Chrysler over the course of the 1980s, the Wisconsin-based brand had its moments of muscle car glory alongside Detroit's finest during the golden age of horsepower.
Hey, Javelin!
Drag? Huh? Come on!
The first generation AMC Javelin was born from the AMX project and built on the Rambler American chassis. And when it arrived in showrooms in 1968, it immediately established itself as a threat to the established pony car order. The Javelin, which was slightly roomier inside than its rivals, proved to be balanced and fun to drive, especially considering its price point. And its engines were a good match for entry-level and mid-range Mustangs and the Camaros. AMC wasn't finished with the Javelin's charms, however. Introducing the Go package, suspension upgrades, dual exhaust power brakes for the 343 cubic inch car, as well as an optional 390 cubic inch motor that churned out 315 horsepower and 425 pound-foot of torque. The latter arrived halfway through the first model year and elevated the Javelin among its peers, making it a serious muscle car contender. There were limitations to the Javelin, of course, mostly tied into AMC's smaller development budget. There was no convertible version to be found, which put it at a disadvantage when compared against Detroit's finest. But the company balanced this out by going whole hog on the accessories campaign that included a long list of spoilers, paint colors, and other add-ons that attempted to charm buyers looking to stand out from the crowd.
Hey, I want to pause the video real quick. Just want to thank the subscribers to the Boca Brothers YouTube channel. You know, we're noticing that those who watch our videos, only 40%, maybe 30% are subscribers. So that means, 60 to 70% of those who watch our videos are not. So do us a favor, hit that subscribe button, subscribe to the Boca Brothers YouTube channel. Thanks.
It also created a unique two-seat version of the Javelin called the AMX as its own submodel, riding on a short wheelbase version of the coupe's platform that could only be ordered with a V8 engine.
Stunned and unbelieving faces are digging Javelin style, running hard in Trans Am races, gotta make 'em think a while.
With a slightly different look for 1970, the factory also introduced new small block V8 engines and redesigned the 390 to produce 10 additional ponies. Penske modified the 390 to create a 5.0-liter motor specifically for Trans Am, which led to a second-place podium for the team that season. The cars were impossible to miss on the track with their red, white, and blue colors. And Donahue would even get his own special edition of the street car to be sold to fans in the know.
The original idea of the sporty car was to give you a car with some individuality. But lately, all the sporty cars are looking pretty much alike. So, at American Motors, we decided to go all out this year to make our Javelin a really different-looking car, even at the risk of scaring some people off. If you had to compete with the three biggest car companies in America, what would you do?
The AMC Javelin was redesigned for 1971, approaching the also new Mustang in terms of attitude, especially when seen from the front. AMC continued to position the Javelin as class above in terms of size. It was larger in almost every dimension compared to the other pony cars. And this philosophy eventually affected engine specs too. The 360 cubic inch motor grew to 285 horsepower in 1971. The 390 was replaced by a 330 horsepower 401 cubic inch V8. The Pocket Rocket AMX was no longer its own pint-sized model. Instead, AMC incorporated it into the Javelin's list of trim levels. The Go package was still in the picture, and although the Javelin was heavier than before, it continued to deliver the goods in a straight line, staying competitive with all but the big block V8 muscle machines that saw their horsepower peak in 1971. Even more impressive was the capability of the revised Javelin on the road course. Penske and Donahue pushed AMC into back-to-back Trans Am championships for 1971 and 1972. An incredible feat considering how much better endowed their blue oval, bow tie, and Pentastar gridmates were in terms of finances and engineering resources. The 1972 model year Javelins featured a new egg crate front grille design, with a similar pattern repeated on the chrome overlay over the full-width taillights. The AMX version continued with the flush grille. A total of 15 exterior colors were offered with optional side stripes. American Motors achieved record sales in 1972 by focusing on quality and including an innovative warranty called the Buyer Protection Plan to back its products. The 1973 Javelin had several updates, most noticeably in the design of the taillights and grille, although the AMX grille remained the same. While all other AMC models had bumpers with telescopic shock absorbers, the Javelin and AMX were fitted with a non-telescopic design that had two rigid rubber guards. These allowed the cars to withstand a 5-mile-per-hour front and 2.5-mile-per-hour rear impacts without damage to the engine, lights, and safety equipment. The doors were also made stronger to comply with the new U.S. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration safety standards that they would stand 2,500 pounds of impact for the first 6 inches of crush. The twin cove indentations were eliminated from the Javelin's roof, and a full vinyl top was made available. The 1970-1972 turtleback front seats were replaced by a slimmer, lighter, and more comfortable design that provided more legroom for rear seat passengers. The SST moniker was dropped, and the car was now simply known as the Javelin. All engines incorporated new emissions controls. The 1973 401 cubic inch V8 was rated at a net 255 horsepower and achieved a 0 to 60 acceleration in 7.7 seconds, with a top speed of 115.53 miles per hour. Despite the Javelin's size and weight, performance figures conducted by Road Test magazine of a 1973 Javelin SST with the 401 cubic inch 4-barrel V8 engine and 4-speed manual transmission resulted in a respectable quarter-mile drag strip run of 15.5 seconds at 91 miles per hour. American Motors continued its comprehensive buyer protection extended warranty on all 1973 models that now covered food and lodging expenses of up to $150 should a car require overnight repairs when the owner is more than 100 miles away from home. The automaker promoted improved product quality with an advertising campaign that said, "We back them better because we build them better." Profits for the year achieved a record high. Javelin production for the 1973 model year totaled 30,902 units, including 5,707 AMX units. By 1974, the automobile marketplace had changed. Mid-year, Chrysler abandoned the pony car market, whereas Ford replaced its original Mustang with a smaller 4-cylinder version, and other pony car manufacturers also downsized engines. The Javelin's big engine option continued until the production of the model ended in October-November 1974, during the Arab oil embargo, and overall declining interest in high-performance vehicles. The 1974 AMX did not do as well in the marketplace when compared to the new Camaro, Firebird, and the downsized Mustang II, all of which saw increased sales. Javelin production meanwhile reached a second-generation high of 27,696 units. Out of that total number, a total of 4,980 Javelin AMX models were produced for the final model year. Several factors led to the demise of the Javelin model, not least of which was the economic climate of the time. While the 1974 model was exempt from stricter 1974 bumper standards, AMC estimated it would take $12 million in engineering and design work to revise the bumpers to meet the 1975 standards. American Motors also introduced the all-new 1974 Matador Coupe, described by popular mechanics as smooth and slippery, and actually competes with the Javelin for boss muscle car styling. The automaker also needed a manufacturing line to build its all-new AMC Pacer. Today, the AMC Javelin is rarer than a Mustang. What isn't? But that doesn't mean it's difficult to find, with well over 100,000 examples built across both generations. There's a healthy community supporting these fast and fun cars. Another plus when it comes to restoring or maintaining a Javelin, AMC's limited budget meant it had to share many of its parts across its entire vehicle lineup, which in turn translates into standardized replacements and knowledge across the American Motors ownership base. Whether you're looking to build a Trans Am replica or just a solid cruiser, the Javelin is a classic car that deserves a second look. Well, there you have it, the history of the AMC Javelin. What was your favorite year? Did you own one? Do you have one? Let us know. Leave a comment below. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that bell to be notified of future videos. Again, thanks for watching the Boca Brothers Car Reviews.